The Iron Fist and the Empty Coffers, the heartbreaking story of Sani Abacha. Sani Abacha's name evokes a complex mix of fear, resentment, and morbid fascination in Nigeria. He remains a figure shrouded in controversy, his legacy a tapestry woven with threads of brutal repression, alleged corruption on an unprecedented scale, and a sudden, mysterious death. The story is not just a biography of a dictator, it's a reflection of Nigeria's turbulent journey through military rule, a period marked by political instability, economic mismanagement, and the struggle for democratic governance. This is the heartbreaking story of Sani Abacha, a man who rose from humble beginnings to become one of Nigeria's most infamous rulers. From Kano to command, the making of a general. Sani Abacha was born on September 25, 1943, in Kano, a bustling commercial hub in northern Nigeria. Details about his early life are somewhat scarce, often overshadowed by the dramatic events of his later career. He hailed from a humble background, his father a Kanuri from Borno State and his mother a Nupe from Niger State. This mixed heritage, while not uncommon in Nigeria, would later be used by some to portray him as a unifying figure, though his actions often contradicted this narrative. Abacha's early education took place in Kano, and he later attended the Kano Provincial Secondary School. He was not known for academic brilliance, but rather for his quiet demeanor and unwavering ambition. In 1962, at the age of 19, he joined the Nigerian Army, a career path that would shape the rest of his life. The military offered him structure, discipline, and a clear path to advancement, qualities that resonated with his personality. His military training took him to various institutions, including the Nigerian Military Training College in Kaduna and later to the Mons Officer Cadet School in Aldershot, England. These experiences instilled in him a strong sense of hierarchy, obedience, and the use of force as a means to achieve objectives. He specialized in engineering, a field that would prove useful in his later military and political roles. Abacha's rise through the ranks was steady, if not spectacular. He participated in various military operations, including the Nigerian Civil War, 1967 to 1970, where he served in the Engineering Corps. This brutal conflict, which pitted the secessionist Biafran region against the rest of Nigeria, exposed him to the realities of war and its devastating consequences. It also likely solidified his belief in the importance of national unity and the use of force to maintain it. In the years following the Civil War, Abacha continued to climb the military ladder. He held various command positions, demonstrating his organizational skills and his ability to execute orders without question. He was known for his loyalty, his discretion, and his ruthlessness when necessary. These qualities, while not always admirable, were highly valued within the military hierarchy. The shadowy rise to power, coups and conspiracies. Abacha's career was marked by his involvement in several military coups, a common feature of Nigerian politics in the decades following independence. He was not always the visible leader of these coups, often preferring to operate behind the scenes, pulling the strings of power. This earned him a reputation as a shrewd and calculating strategist, a man who understood the dynamics of power and how to manipulate them to his advantage. His first major role in a coup came in 1983, when he played a key part in the overthrow of the civilian government of Shehu. This coup, led by Major General Muhammadu Buhari, brought an end to the Second Nigerian Republic and ushered in a period of military rule. Abacha's involvement in this coup demonstrated his growing influence within the military and his willingness to intervene in the political affairs of the nation. Just 2 years later, in 1985, Abacha was again involved in a coup, this time against Buhari's regime. The coup, led by General Ibrahim Babangida, saw Buhari and his key allies detained. Abacha played a crucial role in mobilizing troops and ensuring the success of the coup. This further solidified his position within the military and his close relationship with Babangida, who would become Nigeria's next military ruler. Under Babangida's regime, Abacha's power and influence continued to grow. He held several key military positions, including Chief of Army Staff and Minister of Defense. He became a close confidant of Babangida, playing a significant role in shaping the policies of the military government. He was also widely believed to be involved in various covert operations, including the alleged assassination of journalist Dele Giwa in 1986. While these allegations have never been proven, they contributed to Abacha's image as a ruthless and powerful figure. The Babangida era was marked by economic instability, political repression, and widespread corruption. Abacha was seen as a key player in this system, benefiting personally from the corrupt practices that plagued the nation. He amassed considerable wealth, allegedly through illicit business dealings and the misappropriation of public funds. These allegations would later come back to haunt him, staining his legacy and fueling public anger. The seizure of power, a dictatorship forged in iron. In 1993, Babangida annulled the results of the presidential election, which was widely believed to have been won by Ernest Abiola. This decision plunged Nigeria into a political crisis, leading to widespread protest and unrest. Babangida was forced to step down, handing power to an interim government. However, this interim government was short-lived. In November 1993, Abacha seized power in a bloodless coup, becoming the new military ruler of Nigeria. Abacha's rise to power was met with both apprehension and resignation. Many Nigerians were weary of military rule and hoped for a swift return to democracy. However, Abacha quickly dispelled any such hopes, establishing a brutal dictatorship characterized by repression, human rights abuses, and rampant corruption. He consolidated his power by silencing all forms of dissent. Political opponents were imprisoned, exiled, or even killed. The media was muzzled, and freedom of speech was severely curtailed. Abacha's regime was marked by arbitrary arrests, detentions without trial, and the use of torture against perceived enemies. Human rights organizations documented numerous cases of extrajudicial killings and other abuses committed by security forces under Abacha's command. The Abacha regime also presided over a period of economic decline. Despite Nigeria's vast oil wealth, the country's economy stagnated under his rule. Corruption was rampant, with Abacha and his cronies siphoning off billions of dollars from the public treasury. Infrastructure deteriorated, and basic services collapsed. The standard of living for most Nigerians plummeted, while a select few close to the regime amassed immense wealth. Abacha's rule was characterized by a pervasive climate of fear. Nigerians lived in constant fear of the security forces, unsure of who was watching or listening. The atmosphere of suspicion and paranoia stifled any form of opposition, creating a climate of self-censorship and widespread apathy. The international condemnation and the struggle for democracy. Abacha's dictatorship was widely condemned by the international community. Human rights organizations, international bodies, and Western governments criticized his regime for its human rights abuses and its lack of commitment to democracy. Sanctions were imposed on Nigeria, and international pressure mounted for a return to civilian rule. Within Nigeria, a vibrant pro-democracy movement emerged, led by activists, journalists, and politicians who risked their lives to challenge Abacha's rule. They organized protests, disseminated information, and mobilized international support for the restoration of democracy. The struggle for democracy in Nigeria became a rallying cry for freedom and justice, inspiring people across the country to resist Abacha's tyranny. One of the most prominent figures in the pro-democracy movement was Ernest Abiola, the presumed winner of the annulled 1993 presidential election. Abiola refused to recognize Abacha's rule and continued to demand his mandate. He became a symbol of hope for many Nigerians, a testament to the power of peaceful resistance against dictatorship. Abiola was imprisoned by Abacha's regime, where he remained until his death in 1998, just weeks before Abacha's own demise. The circumstances surrounding Abiola's death remained shrouded in controversy, with many suspecting foul play. The sudden end, a legacy of mystery and controversy. On June 8, 1998, Sani Abacha died suddenly at the age of 54. The official cause of death was given as a heart attack, but rumors and speculation persisted for years after his death. Some claimed he was poisoned, while others suggested he died during an encounter with prostitutes. The lack of transparency surrounding his death further fueled the mystery surrounding his life and his rule. Abacha's death was met with a mixture of relief and suspicion. Many Nigerians celebrated the end of his brutal dictatorship, hoping for a genuine transition to democracy. However, others remained skeptical, wary of the military's continued influence in Nigerian politics. Following Abacha's death, General Sani Abubakar assumed power as the new military ruler. He initiated a transition process, paving the way for the return to civilian rule in 1999.